What things really make you cringe? When people post selfies of them crying. No joke. My friend's sister posted crying selfies of her and her kids when they had their dog put to sleep with the dead dog. Like, That's a private moment of grief, not a selfie opportunity. Ugh, I'm cringing so hard just reading this. What is wrong with people? Well, and the picture isn't even the worst part. It's when you think more about it. Hugging a dead dog. Crying. Making sure you got the most flattering crying angle. Taking a few just to get it right. Getting up in your kids' faces and posting one of their most painful moments online. Like, did they pose the dead dog to make it look sadder? No idea. I will never forget it. Influencers asking for support during these times. Or people who are influencers without having done anything. I get it that people will be influenced by famous people like singers, sports players, politicians, actors, etc. But the idea that influencing in itself is a career is ducking stupid. Way back when, people used to say that certain celebrities were famous for being famous, but it was a joking way of saying that they hadn't done anything of note in a long time. Now it seems like there really are people who are well known who have never actually done anything but promote themselves. Self-diagnosed psychopaths. Reminds of that I'm a sociopath Askreddit thread where he unironically said head a lot. Got a link? Heh. When I remember my high school interactions in general. Go read your old Facebook posts. Duck. That's why I love that you delete those old posts as they show up in the memories folder. Better and faster way to do that. Go to your profile. Tap the 3 dots next to add to story. Manage posts. Filters. And select the year you wanna delete/hide posts from. The time I was talking too loud at a wedding when I wasn't supposed to, and everyone at the wedding turned around to see what asshole rolled and shut up. I was across a table from some friends who did this during the reception speeches because they didn't realize what was happening. The bride's brother is a pretty well-known actor and happened to be 5 feet away from them giving his speech, which he stopped in the middle to yell at them to shut up. I hope it was Stephen Baldwin. Does Sam Jackson have a sister? I asked Samuel L. Jackson for a photo one time. It was at a fan type event. I don't believe in asking for photos from celebs if they are just out in public, and he said no and cussed me out. Highlight of my life. Edit. BTW. Just because it was a fan event doesn't mean he owed me a photo. He wasn't attacking me personally, and he was justified in turning me down. Sure, he wasn't as polite as he could have been, but I'd prefer this story to the picture anyway. When someone is obviously lying. Reminds me of that one chick who got caught trying to put a hit on her husband for his money, and they played him the video of her saying she was 5000% sure she wanted him dead, and then she was like, no babe, that was a lie, please help me, they're gonna take me to jail. No. Edit. This link to the video can only be seen by absolute badasses. Link. B/7JTTWV6XZ_I. Didn't she just get house arrest for it or something? I remember feeling like she had gotten away with attempted murder because her sentencing was so light. Edit. So apparently she got 16 years. Justice Lee Ives. That was one really messed up case. Yarl. The depths of some people's craziness. She had tricked him into taking his name off of the deed to their house before she tried to have him killed. So in the end she got a house out of the whole ordeal. In the phone call where she tries to convince her ex-husband to help her. Yes, the one she tried to have killed. He says he will help her mom financially if she signs the house back to him, and she says no. How do you trick someone into doing that? Why would they ask you to do that unless they just wanted your house? Recordings of my own voice. Yes, I always sound congested. You can fix that. You're most likely speaking through your nose. To practice, plug your nose and speak only through your mouth. You'll start off sounding extremely nasally, but with enough practice you'll figure out how to speak only through your mouth. Just do it a little every day. I thought it was because I didn't use my nose, making it sound like my nose was plugged up from a cold. Videos of people getting caught in lies. Oh, I need to see some of these strangely. Check out /r/confident lying correct. Oh wow. I tried to watch the top posts of all time, but it was just too much for me. Good call. Extreme self-delusion. Usually it's funny enough to make up for it. But sometimes it's just so sad to see somebody who can't accept reality. Anision fits that bill pretty well. According to his dad, the only time he ever actually broke out of that state of extreme delusion and self-absorption was when he was sitting in juvenile detention being interviewed by an officer. So maybe once the law catches up to him, he'll realize just how ducked he is. People who post vague status updates on social media, such as "the most horrible thing just happened to me," without providing any context. It's a cheap way for people to fish for attention, and it creates unnecessary worry for the people who care about them. Just got back from the emergency room. Bonus points if they post a picture of the hospital bracelet. When people get that mentality of "I'm one bad bitch," because they are really just one annoying bitch. I know someone just like this. They genuinely think they are a bad bitch and it only serves to make them even more cocky and unbearable to be around. How on earth they have friends? I'm not sure. Thinking you're bad often goes hand in hand with arrogance. Crazy. When I remember that I do have a boyfriend. He just goes to another school thing. As an adult with a real girlfriend in another country, I feel like a high school fraud when it comes up. Lol. How did that happen? Don't worry, I believe you. I met my wife on Christian Mingle. She lived in Michigan. I lived in a place in Canada you've never heard of. Wait. You live in Canada? That makes your GF the fraud when she has to say, "Oh, I have a BF. He lives somewhere in Canada." Lol. When people make a joke but nobody laughs, and it's just quiet, I can occasionally be funny, but I must have a weird, too subtle delivery. Because there's usually a couple seconds of delay before my friend/coworkers laugh in a "I'm just now processing what you said, and hey that's hilarious" kind of way. But for those few seconds, when I think it missed, my soul shrivels up a bit. I once told a joke to a group of classmates and they all laughed, except this one girl who didn't get it. A few seconds later she bursts out laughing and doing the silly clapping thing, because it took her a bit to understand the joke. My brother-in-law. The way he tries to flirt with anything with a pair of boobs, and is 2 decades younger than he is. Mostly female servers at restaurants. He treats male servers like shit. He tries to touch their hair or their shoulders without permission, and makes the lamest jokes that no one ever laughs at except for him. The man hasn't shaved in years, and from the smell of it probably doesn't bathe as often as he should either. He smells like dog and burritos. I married his twin brother. I feel like I married the name brand version and his brother is the dollar store version. I feel like I married the name brand version and his brother is the dollar store version. r/rare insults. Early teen me. So many cringy stuff I did. I hope all of my old friends have forgotten about me. Yes. The worst time to look back to is when you were like 11 to 15 years old. Oh. I think we can extend it further than that. I was a mega dumbass until at least 20. Future you is talking shit about current you. I can prove it with a simple calculation. Take your age and subtract 5 years. Were you smart back then? Of course not. You were a goddamn idiot. So odds are, you're a goddamn idiot right now. But you won't know it for 5 years. Apostrophe. Those videos of guys trying really hard to be sexy, biting their lips and looking down and brushing their hair back. They make me cringe so hard. So literally everyone on TikTok. Every time I'm in a group of people, I always say the wrong thing and they look at me like I have 3 heads and a penis growing out of my forehead. Wait, which forehead? If you have 3 heads that means you have 3 foreheads. All 3. YouTube comment threads that are essentially an endless string of who else is listening in 2020, or the new trend. Nudity 0%, autotune 0%, bad music 0%, talent 100%. 100% reasons to remember the name. I haven't thought about that song in years. Now it's playing in my head on repeat. Mike. My face when I see it on video. I consider myself a good looking gal. but when I see my face on videos I look absolutely different from what I look in mirrors and pictures, whether selfies or that others take. Looking like a damn squirrel fish. And now video chat is required for work. The whole time I'm thinking, oh god, is this what I look like? Snapchat had me thinking I was cute. Then I downloaded Zoom, and oh the horror. Sorry if you already know this, but Zoom has a feature in the settings that makes your face look more presentable. It probably just smoothens the face and removes noticeable blemishes. Seeing an adult complaint like a child to waiters, cashiers, etc. My aunt flipped her shit at a game store employee because they didn't give her a good amount of money for a copy of Final Fantasy on PS3. Keep in mind she's in her 40s. Was it GameStop? I bet it was GameStop. Yep. Coming across some rising issue or unpopular celebrity being posted about on Reddit and someone saying Reddit do your thing like we actually have a huge impact on shit outside the website lol. We did it. Reddit. We caught the Boston bomber. Related to this, I was in a communications class in college at the time. The professor talked a lot about social media. I brought up how Reddit was crowdsourcing the search for the bomber. Like it was cool and interesting. To be clear, I didn't particulate. I didn't even use Reddit at the time. A few days later the professor mentions in class how Reddit ducked up some guy's life by falsely accusing him. It felt like he was specifically talking to me. Like it was my fault. So yeah, anytime this topic comes up I get a special dose of cringe. Reigniting that memory. Saying something in a group and getting dead silence afterwards. Also thinking about the stupid things I've done in past social situations. Also waving back at someone who wasn't waving at you. Also my voice also having an idea of what to say in my head, but when I speak it just sounds a mess. When you say something offhand that's not a full thought and someone asks you to repeat it, so the whole group is focused on you now, but you didn't care enough about what you said to want it out there anymore, and when you do finally repeat it, you get dead silence. When people film themselves doing something really generous and heartfelt for someone in dire need, e.g. a homeless person, mate, give them the money or the food, or whatever, and get on with your life. I cringe at how that person must feel to have a camera or phone shoved in their face while they're accepting someone's shallow charity. I'm glad the person in need benefits, but I can't bear to watch them. Second-hand embarrassment. It makes me physically ill. Someone obviously showing off at doing something when they are not that good at it really gets to me. The worst is when someone is singing along to a song, but instead of just vibing and singing for their own pleasure, they are looking around to make sure that other people are watching them sing. It's the worst. Just to be clear, doing something badly just because you enjoy it is encouraged and celebrated. You should see me on a dance floor. It's like an epileptic octopus. It's when the person doing it thinks they are good at it and has that smugness or attitude and is doing it for praise from other people, but they are not actually good at that thing. Watching the auditions force factor makes me feel sick. I was invited to karaoke by a friend of a friend. Not my scene, but the drinks were cheap so I went. He kept insulting most of the singers. They weren't great, but not terrible. He just kept insisting he was a great singer and just wait until it was his turn, because he was going to school everyone. I'm sure you can guess by now that he was, by far, the worst singer there. I can't understand how he didn't know. I almost thought he was joking. But nope. He was super smug. And since I didn't really know him that well, I wasn't going to be the one to call him out. I haven't seen karaoke since. It's just too uncomfortable. This is my nightmare. You'd think someone would have told him before then. You see it all the time on audition shows. People who think they are amazing have their friends or family not told them that they're actually the worst. Audition shows love those kinds of people. I have heard stories of people being told they are good only for them to get on camera and be told the truth. People who always post/talk about smoking pot. You smoke, that's cool. I used to, but Jesus, if drugs are your personality you might have a problem. Also TikTok cringe compilations. It's hard to find a good cringe compilation, but the TikTok ones are so hard to watch. Clickbait YouTube thumbnails. Yes, this so cringy to me, especially when they make stupid faces in them. Any story about someone having a birthday party and no one shows up? It happened to my little brother when we were kids, and I've been scarred from it since. People dying / abuse / grief / loss / horror etc does not elicit the same emotional upset I get when I hear those kind of birthday stories. Edit. Why are you all responding with stories that devastate me, man? Duck I'll let it too. All of you are upsetting me. Duck this. Oh my god. I had my 9th birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese and I invited my entire 3rd grade class, around 30 kids. No one shows. So I'm just sitting at this big ass table alone with some family members. When I realized no one was coming, I just started sobbing. I must have looked downright pitiful, crying in my party hat, surrounded by empty chairs set up for other kids. Because the staff ended up giving me a shit ton of tokens to play with. I don't remember the rest of the day, but I did get a Wii, and I won a bunch of prizes, so I think it turned out okay. Dude, you're about to make me cry. What the heck? This stuff devastates me. I hope you still manage to have a good day, and I hope nowadays your birthdays have tons of good people surrounding you. People who are unnecessarily aggressive because they are insecure. Guys being overly aggressive at women who are plainly uninterested. I had to watch this 50-year-old guy beg to buy my 24-year-old friend a drink. She said no thank you like 6 times. Please just one drink. Please, so it hurt to watch. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.